Milo wiped his hands on a rag, the smell of oil and metal filling the small workshop. The morning sunlight cut through the dusty windows, casting golden streaks across the floor. Today was like any other day. Ships came in for repairs. Drones needed new circuits. Life was simple, and Milo liked it that way. He had one goal: take care of his little daughter, Lyra, and keep them both safe in the city of Craven. Lyra was 6 years old, bright, curious, and full of energy. She always found ways to turn Milo's calm, orderly life into a whirlwind of chaos and laughter. Today, she ran around the workshop with a tiny toy spaceship, making buzzing noises. Milo smiled and shook his head. One day, Lyra, you will build real spaceships. For now, keep your engines quiet. As he worked on a broken engine panel, Milo noticed something strange in the sky. A ship unlike any he had ever seen hovered silently above the city. Its hull glimmered in shifting colors like liquid crystal. It landed without a sound in the central plaza, and people started to gather around, whispering. Milo frowned. Ships from the palace rarely came here. Only nobles, officials, or visitors of importance ever ventured into the lower districts. He returned to work, trying to ignore the stir outside. Suddenly, Lyra tugged at his sleeve. Daddy, look. That ship is huge, and it sparkles. Her eyes were wide with excitement. Milo leaned out the open door to see the crowd surrounding the landing platform. A tall figure emerged, glowing faintly under the sun. She wore flowing robes and moved with grace that seemed almost magical. Her scales shimmered along her arms and neck, catching the light like tiny mirrors. People whispered, some crossing themselves in awe. She's a dragon, a man in the crowd said nervously. Milo frowned. Dragon people were rare. They were mostly seen in the palace, far away, under the strict guard of the Dragon Queen herself. To see one here in the lower city was unheard of. The figure walked slowly, scanning the crowd, but her gaze seemed to pass right through them. Her eyes finally settled on Milo and Lyra. For a moment, time felt strange. The world seemed quieter. The little dragon-human hybrid girl smiled softly at them. Hello, she said in a voice that was clear, warm, and strangely human. Milo blinked. He hadn't expected her to speak directly to them. Hello, he said cautiously. I'm Milo, this is Lyra. The dragon girl nodded politely. I am Mira, she said. I have come to find someone. Her gaze was steady, but it was not threatening. It was curious, and something in it made Milo feel both nervous and calm at the same time. Lyra ran toward Mira, laughing. Do you want to play? She asked. Mira tilted her head, smiling at the boldness of the little human girl. Yes, she said softly. I would like to play. For the next few minutes, the three of them sat in the dusty workshop. Mira watched Milo work, fascinated by the tools, the sparks, and the way he carefully adjusted each part. You are very skilled, she said. How did you learn all this? Milo shrugged modestly. I just fix what comes to me. I try to understand the problem and make it better. That's all. Mira tilted her head as if thinking. I like that, she said quietly. You do not just fix machines. You care about them, Milo laughed. Machines are easier than people sometimes. He glanced at Lyra, who was trying to put a small screwdriver in her hair like it was a hairpin. And people are trickier, but they are worth it. Myra's eyes softened. I think I understand, she said. You are different from the others I have met. She did not explain further, but Milo sensed that she meant the nobles of the palace. They were elegant, yes, but distant. They measured everyone by rank, skill, or wealth. Milo measured people differently. By heart, effort, and care. Lyra jumped up suddenly, pointing at a small model ship Milo had been repairing. Milo, can we take this outside? I want to see if it flies. Milo chuckled. Outside? With the wind and all that? It might break. Myra spoke quickly, almost like she had been thinking the same thought. Let us try. Even if it breaks, we can learn something. Milo paused, surprised. That was a curious idea. Usually people feared mistakes. Myra did not. Together, They carried the small model ship into the alley behind the workshop. Milo felt a little awkward as Mira handled it delicately, her dragon fingers surprisingly nimble. Lyra ran in circles, laughing and making swooshing noises. Mira watched them, and for a moment, Milo forgot about the strange ship outside and the rumors of a royal visit. "This is fun," Mira said, smiling at Lyra. "Humans are very imaginative. I did not know games could be like this." Milo smiled. "Humans make the best of what we have. Sometimes the small things are the most important." Mira looked thoughtful. "Perhaps that is why I came here," she said softly, more to herself than to Milo. Milo frowned slightly. "Came here? You mean to the city?" Mira nodded. "Yes, I was sent to observe the world outside the palace. I wanted to see who is worthy, not by power or wealth, but by heart." Milo's hands froze on the model ship. Something in her words made him uneasy and curious at the same time. She did not speak like the nobles. She spoke like someone seeking truth. Suddenly, the quiet of the alley was broken by the sound of wings. A guard from the palace appeared, looking around. "Mira," he called, "return at once. The queen will be angry." Mira's smile did not falter. "I am not afraid of the truth," she said. She turned to Milo. "I must go now, but I will return. I want to learn more. Will you let me?" Milo nodded, unsure what he had agreed to. "Of course. You are welcome any time." Lyra clapped her hands. "Yes, come back. We can play more." Mira nodded and smiled at the little girl. "Tss. I will. I promise." As Mira walked away, Milo watched her ship rise silently into the sky. Something about the encounter had stirred a feeling he had not known for years. Excitement, curiosity, and a strange sense of responsibility. This was no ordinary visit. He felt as if a story was beginning, a story that would pull him from his quiet life into a world far beyond engines and tools. When he returned to his workshop, Milo looked at Lyra and said softly, "Something unusual is coming. I do not know what yet, but I think our lives will change." Lyra grinned. "I like stories, Daddy. Maybe this is the best one yet." Milo nodded. He did not know the future, but he knew one thing. He would protect Lyra. And somehow, he would meet the challenge this dragon girl had brought to his life. That night, Milo could not sleep. He kept thinking of Mira, of her soft smile, her curious eyes, and her words about heart and worth. Outside the window, the city lights twinkled like stars. He thought about the palace and the queen, and for the first time, he wondered if a human could truly matter in that world of dragons and power. He did not know yet, but he was about to find out. Morning came, and Milo prepared for another day of work. But something had changed. His hands felt lighter, his mind sharper. He felt a determination he had not felt before. When Lyra asked what he was thinking, he only smiled and said, "Big adventures can start with small steps, my little star. And I think we are about to take one." The next morning, Milo arrived at his workshop early. The air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of machinery and oil. Lyra was already awake, humming a tune she had made up the night before. She waved a small wrench at her father. "Daddy, can we fix the hovercart today?" Milo smiled. "Yes, Lyra, but first, we need to check the engine circuits. They might be a little worn." He guided her to the workbench and handed her a small tool, letting her help with the simplest adjustments. Lyra's small hands trembled with excitement, but she listened carefully as Milo explained each step as they worked. Milo could not stop thinking about Mira. Her visit the previous day had left a strange mark in his mind. He kept replaying her words, not by power or wealth, but by heart. Milo had spent most of his life fixing machines and protecting Lyra, never imagining that a royal visitor would take notice of him by mid-morning. The sound of wings interrupted their work. Milo looked up to see Mira hovering above the alley on a small levitation platform. Her robes flowing around her like liquid colors. Lyra squealed in delight. "Mira, you came back." Mira smiled and landed gracefully beside them. "I promised," she said. "I wanted to see more." to understand why humans care so much about small things. Milo studied her quietly. She was different from anyone he had ever met, not just in appearance, but in the way she observed the world. Her eyes moved with focus and curiosity, noticing details most people ignored. "Do you want to help?" Milo asked cautiously. He wasn't sure if it was wise for a dragon-human princess to touch engines in a dusty workshop, but he sensed she wanted to learn, not interfere. "Yes," Mira said softly. She knelt down, examining the hover cart carefully. "The energy circuits are older than I expected. You have maintained them well." Milo nodded. "I try my best. It is not perfect, but it works." Lyra leaned close to Mira. "Can I show you my invention?" She pulled out a small wooden model, a miniature flying cart with wings that flapped when pushed. Myra's eyes lit up. "I would love to see it." Lyra pressed a button and the wings moved slightly. It wobbled but stayed upright for a few seconds. "Impressive," Mira said. "You are thinking creatively. That is how humans solve problems." Milo glanced at her, surprised by the observation. Most palace visitors would have scoffed at such a simple creation. Mira, however, treated it with respect as they worked together. Milo began to notice Mira's fascination with not just the machines, but with him and Lyra. She asked about their daily life, about the city, and about simple joys humans enjoyed. "Do you always fix things?" she asked Milo while he adjusted a hovercart circuit. "Most of the time," Milo replied, "but not everything can be fixed. Some things, like people's feelings, need care and patience." Myra's gaze lingered on him. "That is rare. Even among dragons, many think power solves everything." Their conversation was interrupted by a loud clatter outside. A group of local traders had dropped a shipment of tools near the alley, and Milo hurried to help them gather the scattered pieces. Myra and Lyra followed, helping in their own way. Mira's delicate hands were surprisingly adept at picking up tiny screws and parts. Lyra laughed as Mira carefully balanced a stack of small crates. "You work well together," Milo observed. "Humans and dragons rarely cooperate so naturally." Myra looked at him with a thoughtful smile. "Perhaps it is not about species. It is about respect. When you respect the work and the person, cooperation is easy." Milo nodded. He felt a strange warmth in his chest. It was admiration, yes, but also hope. After the traders left, Milo invited Mira to sit down. "Do you have to go back to the palace?" he asked gently. "I do not have to leave," she replied. "I want to learn more about you, Milo, about your life. I am curious why humans value small things." Milo hesitated. He had never been so open with a royal visitor before, but Mira's sincerity made him feel safe. "I work to protect Lyra and provide for her," he said quietly. "That is my most important task. Everything else comes after. Some humans seek power or wealth, but for me, family matters more than anything." "I understand. That is something even many dragons cannot comprehend." "Your heart is strong, Milo." Lyra clapped her hands. "See, Daddy. She understands you." Milo laughed softly. "Yes, she does. But it is unusual for a dragon to understand humans so quickly." Mira shook her head. "It is not about race. It is about seeing clearly. I see that you care for life, for machines, for little hearts like Lyra's." The afternoon passed with the three of them tinkering in the workshop. Milo showed Mira how to calibrate energy circuits and adjust propulsion modules. Lyra demonstrated her small inventions and excitedly explained how she had imagined them flying in space. Mira listened intently, asking questions and offering suggestions. She treated every idea with respect, never dismissing even the smallest detail. As the sun began to set, Milo realized they had been working together for hours. Mira looked around the workshop, her eyes bright with interest. "This place is different from the palace," she said. "It feels alive, full of life and effort." Milo nodded. "It is simple, yes, but it is honest." Mira smiled. "Honesty is rare. It is why I came here. I wanted to see truth, not grandeur." Just then, a messenger arrived from the palace. Princess Mira, the queen requests your immediate return. The council grows concerned. Mira looked at Milo and Lyra. She sighed, a small frown crossing her face. I must go, she said softly, but I will return soon. There is more to learn, and I feel drawn to understand your world. Milo watched her leave, feeling a mix of relief and anticipation. Relief that she had been safe, and anticipation for what her return might bring. He had spent years avoiding attention, staying quiet in the shadows of the city. Now, a princess had noticed him, and somehow, he felt that his life was no longer his alone. That evening, Milo sat with Lyra under the soft glow of the workshop lights. Do you think she will come back? Lyra asked. I hope so, Milo replied. There is something different about her. She does not judge by rank or appearance. She judges by heart. That is rare. Lyra nodded thoughtfully. I like her. She makes our games more fun. Milo smiled. Yes, and she makes me think differently too, about what matters and what is worth protecting. In the days that followed, Mira returned often. Each visit brought new discoveries. She learned about human machines, simple inventions, and even local customs of the city. Milo showed her how to repair small robots and maintain engines. Lyra taught her human games and stories, which Mira found fascinating. One afternoon, Mira asked, why do humans value small things like these toys and machines? Milo paused, wiping sweat from his brow. Because small things shape our lives. They teach patience, creativity, and care. Even tiny mistakes can be lessons. Even small joys can be the greatest treasures. Mira considered this carefully. Perhaps that is why humans can accomplish extraordinary things. You understand details, and your heart guides your hands. Milo felt a warmth at her words, but he also felt a shadow of worry. The palace would not easily accept this connection. Dragon politics were complicated, and humans rarely had influence. Yet Mira did not seem to care about politics or rank. She cared about honesty and effort. That was something Milo could respect and perhaps even rely on. One evening, Myra shared something that surprised him. The queen has asked me to choose a father, she said quietly. Milo froze. Lyra looked confused. Choose a father? Like a game? Milo asked carefully. Mira shook her head. Not a game. A choice of guidance and protection. A person whose heart I trust. The council expects me to choose one of the high-ranking aliens, but I do not know if I should follow their expectations. Milo's heart pounded. He had never imagined being considered for such a role. He was just a simple mechanic. But Mira looked at him with honesty, her eyes steady and calm. I do not choose by power or wealth, she continued. I choose by heart and I am drawn to you, Milo, because you are different. You care. You understand life in ways the others do not. Milo felt his mind spin with disbelief and awe. A royal dragon-human princess choosing him? For guidance? For trust? For heart? It seemed impossible. Yet Mira's sincerity left no room for doubt. I do not know what to say, Milo finally managed. I am not of noble blood or great power. I am just me. Mira smiled gently. That is why I trust you. You are yourself, and that is rare. If you accept, it will not be about titles or duties. It will be about truth and care. And I believe that is more important than any palace expectation. Milo looked at Lyra, who had fallen asleep in the corner of the workshop, tired from the day's excitement. He realized that this choice was not about him. It was about what he could teach and protect. What kind of example he could be. His hands were rough from work, but his heart was ready. Mira rose, sensing the hesitation. You do not have to answer now, she said softly. Think about it, and know that I will return. My decision is not made lightly, but I want it to be true. As Mira floated away into the evening sky, Milo felt a mixture of fear, honor, and hope. This was a responsibility beyond anything he had imagined. Yet for the first time, he felt that his life had meaning on a scale larger than machines and repairs. A princess had trusted him. A heart had chosen him. Milo cleaned the workshop slowly that night, thinking about the lessons Mira had already. The morning sun rose over Craven, bathing Milo's workshop in soft golden light. The city hummed with activity as traders opened their stalls, merchants polished their wares, the streets filled with the sounds of footsteps and laughter. Milo was already at work, tightening circuits on a small hover cart. Lyra was nearby, drawing pictures of spaceships in the dust on the floor. Milo tried to concentrate, but his thoughts kept returning to Myra. She had promised to return. And today he felt a flutter of anticipation mixed with worry. The palace was watching her closely. The council expected her to choose a father among the high-ranking dragons and aliens. But Mira had shown her mind, not her titles. She was different, and that difference had drawn her to Milo. A soft flutter of wings announced her arrival. Milo looked up to see Mira descending gracefully from the sky. She smiled at him warmly. "Good morning, Milo. May I join you today?" "Of course," Milo said. "Lyra, look who is here." Lyra leapt up, running to Mira with a squeal of excitement. "You came back? I knew you would." Myra knelt down, brushing a small strand of hair from Lyra's face. "I promised. And I always keep my promises." Milo watched, feeling a strange mix of pride and awe. Myra's words were simple, yet filled with a quiet strength. The day passed with shared tasks. Milo taught Mira about engine calibration, energy flow, and mechanical repairs. Mira absorbed every word, asking questions, offering observations, and even making small suggestions that improved Milo's methods. Milo realized that she was not just curious, but thoughtful, seeing connections he had overlooked. "You are clever," Milo said quietly, adjusting a hover engine. "Most people assume they know how things work, but you notice details." Ira's eyes glimmered. "I pay attention to what matters." "And you care about what matters, Milo. That is rare." As the afternoon sun began to dip, a messenger from the palace arrived, urgent and formal. "Princess Mira, the Queen requests your presence." The council grows impatient. Mira sighed, a shadow crossing her features. She looked at Milo. "I must go. They do not understand why I am here, but I will return. I promise." Milo nodded, though unease filled him. "Be careful," he said softly. Mira smiled. "I always am. But today, Milo, I want to ask something of you." Milo tilted his head. "What is it?" "Do not change who you are for the palace. Be yourself and stay true to what matters. That is why I'm drawn to you. That is why I trust you." Milo felt a lump in his throat. He had spent his life quietly, unnoticed, repairing machines and raising Lyra. No one had ever spoken to him like this. "I will try," he said. "I promise." Mira left, and Milo returned to his work, but his thoughts were restless. The palace was not a friendly place for humans. High-ranking aliens often looked down on simple lives like his. If Mira truly chose him, he would face challenges he could not ignore. But he could not think of himself as unworthy. Myra's trust was enough to make him believe that courage and heart mattered more than rank or wealth. The next day, news spread through the city. Myra had visited Milo's workshop again. Crowds gathered outside, curious about the princess who sought a human mechanic. Milo felt uneasy. He preferred quiet days, not attention. But when Myra arrived, she dismissed the whispers and the stares with a calm smile. "Today," Myra said, "we will work on something new." She revealed a small alien drone that had malfunctioned. "It is from the palace," she explained. "They think it is beyond repair, but I want to see if we can fix it together." Milo studied the device. It was unlike anything he had ever handled. Its energy core pulsed with unstable light, and the circuits seemed alive. "This is dangerous," Milo said cautiously. "If we are not careful, it could overload." Mira nodded. "I trust your skills, Milo. We will be careful." Lyra watched, wide-eyed. "Wow, this is exciting." Together, they worked on the drone. Milo explained each step, how to stabilize the core, adjust the circuits, and control the energy flow. Mira listened and helped, her hands steady and precise. Lyra offered ideas from her imagination, which surprisingly helped Milo solve a tricky problem. The three of them worked as a team, their efforts blending human creativity and dragon insight by evening. The drone hummed steadily, its lights glowing evenly. Mira smiled, clearly impressed. "You have great skill, Milo, not just with your hands but with your mind." Milo felt his chest swell with pride. He had never sought recognition, but her praise meant more than any title or medal could. That night, Milo reflected on Myra's words. The palace might disapprove of a human, but he realized he had something they lacked: honesty, patience, and care. If Mira truly chose him, it would not be for politics or strength. It would be for heart. That realization gave him courage. The following morning, the palace sent a delegation to Milo's workshop. 2 high-ranking aliens arrived, their robes gleaming and their expressions stern. Milo, one said, "The Queen has instructed us to bring Princess Myra back. She cannot continue her visits here. The council demands she follow her duties." Milo felt a surge of tension. He had anticipated resistance, but seeing it in person was more intimidating than he imagined. Mira stepped forward calmly. "I am not leaving," she said. Her voice carried authority. "I have obligations, yes, but I must understand the world beyond the palace. My choice will not be influenced by rank or fear." The aliens looked at her with disbelief. "Princess, you cannot choose to defy the council," one said. "Your duty is to the kingdom and the alliances we build through careful selection." Milo stepped forward, his heart pounding. "Princess Mira is right. Your council may value power and appearances, but she seeks truth and heart. That matters more than politics." Mira glanced at him, a flicker of surprise in her eyes. "You speak boldly, Milo. Speak the truth," he said firmly. "I do not fear the palace because I do not seek their favor. I seek honesty, effort, and care. These are qualities the council will never understand if they only value rank." The aliens hesitated, unsure how to respond. Mira's choice was becoming clear, not just to them, but to everyone present. The quiet determination of Milo, the princess's calm insistence, and the courage of a little human girl had created a force that could not be ignored. "Very well," Myra said finally, her voice steady. "I have made my decision. I will choose who I feel is worthy, not who the council demands." Milo felt a surge of hope. This was the moment that would change everything. The aliens departed, grumbling but unable to stop her. Mira turned to Milo, her eyes softening. "I choose you," she said. Milo felt his breath catch. "Me," he whispered. "I am not noble or powerful. I am just. Me, that is why I choose you," Mira said with a smile. "You are true, honest, and caring. You are not bound by titles or politics. That is what I need in someone I can trust." Milo felt a mixture of disbelief, honor, and responsibility. He looked at Lyra, who clapped her hands and laughed. "Yay, Daddy. You did it." Milo knelt to hug her. "Yes, Lyra, we did it together." Mira watched, smiling. "This is the beginning of a new path," she said. "One that will not be easy, but it will be real. Heart and effort will guide us, not fear or expectation." In the following days, Milo prepared for the responsibilities that Mira's choice would bring. He helped her understand the human perspective, shared his experiences, and worked alongside her to repair and improve machines from the palace. Each success strengthened their connection, proving that trust and collaboration could overcome fear and prejudice. One evening, Mira spoke quietly to Milo. "The Queen may not approve immediately, but she will see the truth in time. A heart cannot be ignored forever." El nodded. "I will be ready for whatever comes. I will not falter." Mira smiled. "That is why I trust you, Milo. You face challenges not with fear, but with courage and thought. That is rare in any world." Milo felt a sense of pride unlike anything he had known. He had spent years working quietly, unnoticed. But now his skills and heart mattered on a scale he could never have imagined. The city of Craven seemed different to Milo now. The streets, the markets, the people, everything held new meaning. He realized that even in the smallest actions, there was opportunity to change the world. Mira had shown him that courage and integrity could shape destiny, and Milo knew he would face whatever came next with confidence. The final evening of Part 3 found Milo in his workshop, looking at the stars with Lyra by his side. Mira hovered nearby, her eyes reflecting the sparkling lights above. Milo felt a quiet certainty. The palace and its council could challenge them. The world could doubt them, but the bond they had formed was stronger than fear. Heart, honesty, and effort would guide them forward. As the night deepened, Milo whispered softly, "No matter what comes, I will protect you and Lyra, and I will not fail." Myra nodded, her gaze steady. "I know, Milo. That is why I chose you." The sun rose over Craven, casting long golden shadows across the city. Milo was already in his workshop preparing tools and parts for the day. Lyra was beside him, carefully sorting small gears and circuits. The events of the past days had changed their lives. Mira's visits had brought excitement and wonder, but they had also attracted attention. Rumors of the princess choosing a human mechanic had reached the palace, and Milo knew that soon. The Dragon Queen herself would arrive. Lyra looked up at him with wide eyes. "Daddy, do you think the Queen will be angry?" Milo paused, considering his answer. "The Dragon Queen is powerful and wise," he said slowly. "She will question us. But if we show honesty and skill, she will respect us. We must be calm and ready." Lyra nodded solemnly, holding a small screwdriver as if preparing for battle. By mid-morning, a shimmering figure appeared above the city gates. The Dragon Queen herself descended, her scales reflecting sunlight in brilliant colors. She was taller and more imposing than anyone Milo had imagined. Around her, the palace guards stood in strict formation, their eyes alert and watchful. Milo felt a flutter of nerves but straightened his back. He had faced many challenges in his life, but never one like this. Mira stepped forward, floating gently to Milo's side. "Mother," she said respectfully, "I asked you to come. I have made my choice." The Dragon Queen's eyes narrowed, studying the princess, then Milo. "You human dare to accept responsibility in my daughter's world?" she asked, her voice deep and commanding. Milo bowed slightly. "I do not seek power, Your Majesty," he said calmly. "I seek only to protect and guide as best I can. I understand this responsibility is great, and I will not fail." The Dragon Queen's gaze was piercing. "Words are easy, human. Actions are what matter. If you truly wish to be worthy of my daughter's trust, you must prove yourself." Milo nodded. "I am ready. Please tell me what you require." The Queen lifted her hand, and a challenge appeared before them. Holographic images of the palace machinery, drones, and a complex training ground filled the sky. "You must demonstrate skill, wisdom, and courage. Repair what is broken, solve what is unsolvable, and act with integrity. Only then will my respect be earned." Myra hovered close to Milo. "Do not be afraid," she whispered. "I trust you. Remember what you have taught me. Heart and effort matter more than titles." Milo felt strength in her words. He turned to the challenge before him. It was daunting, but he knew he had to try. The first task was a broken palace drone, its circuits sparking dangerously. Milo approached carefully, analyzing the energy flow and structural damage. Mira watched silently, ready to assist. Milo worked steadily, his hands moving with precision and thought. He adjusted circuits, stabilized the energy core, and carefully rewired the propulsion system. The drone whirred to life, hovering steadily. The Queen's eyes narrowed, then flickered with faint approval. The second task was more complex. A series of palace defense machines had malfunctioned, threatening to overload and cause chaos. Milo studied the schematics projected in the air. "These are advanced designs," he murmured. "But the principles are the same. Observation, patience, and understanding will guide me." Mira nodded, impressed by his calm focus. Milo worked tirelessly, using simple but effective methods to stabilize the systems. Sparks flew, alarms rang, but he did not panic. Finally, the machines powered down safely, and the sky cleared. The Dragon Queen's expression remained unreadable. She moved closer, placing a hand on her chin. "Impressive," she said finally. "But skill alone is not enough. Wisdom and courage must also guide your actions." The final challenge was a test of character. A holographic scenario projected before them showed a palace citizen trapped in a malfunctioning chamber, surrounded by energy surges and unstable machinery. The choice was clear: save the citizen immediately, risking personal harm, or follow instructions and preserve one's own safety. Milo did not hesitate. He moved forward, analyzing the energy surges and calculating a safe path. Mira hovered beside him, assisting where possible. Together, they guided the citizen to safety, using quick thinking and careful precision. Milo emerged slightly singed but unharmed, holding the citizen's hand. The Dragon Queen studied him silently. Finally, she spoke. "You have shown skill, courage, and integrity. You have faced challenges without fear, acting with thought and care. These are qualities worthy of trust." Mira smiled, her eyes shining. "Mother, I told you. Heart and effort matter more than rank or titles." The Queen nodded slowly, a faint smile appearing on her lips. "Perhaps humans are not as weak as I assumed. Perhaps there is strength in simplicity and honesty." She turned her gaze to Milo. "You have proven yourself. Not by power, not by wealth, but by what is most important, your heart. I respect that. And by extension, I respect my daughter's choice." Mira hovered closer to Milo, her hand brushing lightly against his. "Thank you," she whispered. "Your courage and heart have shown the truth. I am glad I chose wisely." Milo felt a warmth in his chest. He had faced the challenge, not for recognition, but because it was right. And now he knew he had earned not just the Queen's respect, but a place of trust in a world that had seemed impossible to reach. The Dragon Queen stepped back, her gaze sweeping the crowd of palace observers. "Let this be a lesson," she said, her voice firm yet gentle. "Rank and power are not always the measure of worth. Heart, courage, and honesty can change worlds even in ways we do not expect." The palace guards murmured among themselves, realizing the truth in her words. Even the high-ranking aliens began to nod quietly, acknowledging that Milo's achievements were extraordinary. Milo looked at Lyra, who was beaming with pride. She ran forward and hugged him tightly. "Daddy, you did it! You showed them all." Milo hugged her back, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "Yes, Lyra, we did it together. Your courage and joy helped me more than you know." Mira landed gently beside them. "Your actions have spoken louder than words, Milo. You have shown what humans can achieve. You have earned respect not by claiming power, but by proving your heart." Milo smiled, feeling a mixture of pride and humility. He had spent years fixing machines, caring for his daughter, and living quietly. Now, he realized that those simple qualities, patience, effort, and care, were more powerful than any title or weapon. The Dragon Queen stepped closer to Mira. "My daughter has chosen wisely. And the human you have chosen proves that even the simplest life can shape the fate of others. Your bond is unusual, but it is strong. Nurture it, and it may bring wisdom to both worlds." Mira's smile widened. "Thank you, Mother. I will honor this trust. Milo is not just a guide. He is a friend, a protector, and someone who teaches us the value of heart." The Queen nodded, her eyes softening. "Then go forward together. Let your actions continue to speak. The galaxy is vast, and its challenges are many. But if you remain true to yourself, even the impossible can be achieved." That evening, Milo, Mira, and Lyra returned to the workshop. The air was calm, and the city's lights shimmered like stars. Milo looked at Myra, feeling a sense of connection deeper than he had ever imagined. "Today was incredible," he said quietly. "I never imagined a human like me could face a Dragon Queen and succeed." Myra smiled softly. "You were always capable, Milo. I only needed to see it with you." Lyra climbed onto Milo's lap. "Daddy, do you think we will have more adventures?" Milo chuckled, brushing her hair gently. "Yes, little star. This is just the beginning." Together we will face whatever comes, and we will do it with courage and heart. Mira hovered above them, her eyes glowing faintly in the soft light. There is much to learn, many challenges to face, and worlds to explore. But with trust and effort, we will succeed. Milo felt a renewed sense of purpose. His life had changed forever. He was no longer just a mechanic in a quiet city. He was a mentor, a protector, and a friend to a princess who valued what truly mattered as night fell over Craven. Milo looked at the stars, thinking of the journey ahead. The palace, the council, and even the galaxy itself would challenge them. But he knew that with heart, honesty, and courage, they could overcome any obstacle. The Dragon Queen's respect had been earned, Myra's trust had been solidified. And the bond between human and dragon human had grown stronger than anyone could have imagined. Milo whispered to Lyra, who was already half asleep. Rest, little star. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter, and together we will show the world what courage and heart can do. Mira hovered quietly beside them, her eyes filled with pride and determination, and in that moment Milo understood something he had never imagined. Even a simple human could inspire change, bridge worlds, and face challenges that seemed impossible. The city of Craven was calm under the soft glow of dawn. Milo stood outside his workshop, stretching as he watched Lyra play with her small hovercart. Her laughter echoed through the alley, bright and cheerful, filling the morning air. Milo smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. Life had changed so quickly, but in a way that felt natural. The challenge with the Dragon Queen was behind them, and a new chapter had begun. Mira arrived shortly after sunrise, her robes glimmering in the morning light. She landed gracefully beside Milo and Lyra. "Good morning," she said with a gentle smile. "I hope you slept well." Milo nodded. "Better than ever," he said. "It feels like the world has shifted somehow." Mira glanced around the workshop, her eyes softening as she observed the familiar tools and machines. "It has shifted," she said quietly, "because now humans and dragons can truly understand each other." Lyra ran to Mira, holding out a small model spaceship. "Look, I added a booster so it can go faster." Mira examined it carefully, tilting her head. "Excellent," she said. "You think creatively, Lyra. That is the most important skill in any world." Milo laughed, proud of his daughter's imagination. "She learns from the best," he said, glancing at Myra. The day began quietly with repairs and tinkering. Milo showed Mira some new adjustments he had made to a small hover drone. Mira listened intently, asking questions and offering suggestions. It was not just learning, it was collaboration. Milo realized that the princess's curiosity and intelligence made her a natural problem solver. He felt honored to work with her and teach her what he had learned over the years. By mid-morning, a messenger from the palace arrived, bowing respectfully. "Princess Mira, the Dragon Queen, requests your presence at the council chambers. Your choice has caused much discussion." Mira nodded. "I will go," she said, turning to Milo. "Stay with Lyra. I will return shortly." Milo nodded, though he felt a twinge of concern. The council could be stubborn, and Mira's decision to choose him as a father figure might still meet resistance. Mira left, and Milo focused on his work, but his mind wandered. He thought of the Dragon Queen's respect, the council's cautious approval, and the journey that lay ahead. He realized that his life had expanded beyond the workshop, beyond the simple tasks of repairing engines. He now had responsibility in a larger world, one that required courage, patience, and heart. By afternoon, Mira returned. She was smiling, her eyes bright with relief and pride. "The council has accepted my decision," she said. "Your actions spoke for themselves. They may not fully understand yet, but they cannot deny what you have done." Ella felt a surge of pride and gratitude. "Thank you, Myra. It means more than I can say." Lyra ran to hug Myra, squealing. "Yay, you won." Mira knelt down, brushing Lyra's hair gently. "We all win when honesty and effort guide us," she said. "The council has learned that true worth is not measured by titles or power. Milo, you have shown them this truth." Milo smiled quietly. "I only did what was right." but I am glad it makes a difference. Over the next few weeks, life settled into a new rhythm. Milo continued to repair ships and machines, often with Mira's assistance. Lyra helped whenever she could, learning quickly and inventing new devices. Myra's presence in the workshop became natural, a bridge between the palace and the city, between humans and dragons. One evening, Milo and Mira sat together on a small balcony overlooking the city. The sunset painted the sky in hues of orange and gold. "Milo," Mira said softly, "I want to thank you. You have taught me more than I could have imagined. Not just about machines, but about life, about courage, patience, and care." Milo looked at her, his hands steady, despite the weight of responsibility he felt. "You have taught me too, Mira. You have shown me that even a human like me can matter in a world of dragons and power." Mira smiled. "You have always mattered. I only needed to see it for myself. And now the galaxy can see it too." Milo felt a quiet strength in her words. He realized that his life had changed forever, not because he sought recognition, but because he stayed true to his heart. The following day, a festival was held in honor of Mira's choice and the unity it represented. Citizens from all parts of the city gathered to celebrate. Milo repaired a small parade float, ensuring that it would operate smoothly. Lyra ran ahead, excitedly pointing out decorations and waving to the crowd. Mira hovered above, greeting everyone warmly. Milo felt a sense of pride as he watched the festival unfold. During the celebration, the Dragon Queen appeared once more. She approached Milo, her expression serene. "Human," she said, "you have shown that courage, skill, and heart can influence worlds. You have earned respect not just for yourself, but for all humans. I am honored to see my daughter choose wisely." Milo bowed. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only did what was right, and I will continue to do so." The Queen's gaze softened. "Then go forward together. Guide, protect, and teach. Let your actions continue to demonstrate that even the smallest efforts, the simplest hearts, can shape the galaxy." She turned to Mira. "And you, my daughter, have shown wisdom beyond your years. You understand what is truly important." Mira nodded. "I will not forget this lesson. Milo has shown me that honesty and care are more powerful than titles or fear." Milo felt a warmth in his chest, realizing that his life had become intertwined with hers in a way that would endure. As the festival continued, Milo worked alongside Mira and Lyra, repairing small devices, helping children with inventions, and sharing laughter. People from the city approached, asking questions about their work and marveling at the partnership between human and dragon human. Milo realized that this was more than a celebration. It was a sign that trust, effort, and courage could unite worlds. That evening, Milo, Myra, and Lyra returned to the workshop. Milo looked around at the familiar tools and devices now filled with new meaning. "It feels different," he said softly. "Like our little world has expanded." Mira nodded. "It has, and it will continue to grow. There is much to do, many challenges to face, but together we will succeed." Lyra yawned, curling up in a corner with a small invention she had been working on. Milo smiled, brushing her hair gently. "Rest, little star. Tomorrow we will continue our journey." Mira hovered nearby, her eyes glowing faintly in the soft light. "The galaxy awaits us, Milo, but we will face it together." Milo looked at Myra and then at Lyra. He realized that his life had changed in ways he could never have imagined. He was no longer just a mechanic in a quiet city. He was a protector, a mentor, and a bridge between worlds. His skills, patience, and heart had earned respect, trust, and a place in a story far larger than himself. The next morning, Milo walked through the city streets with Mira and Lyra. Citizens waved and greeted them warmly. Some had once doubted a human could be significant in the world of dragons. Now they watched with respect and admiration. Milo felt a quiet pride. He knew that actions mattered more than words, courage more than titles, and heart more than power. Mira hovered beside him. "The world will challenge us," she said. "But I believe we can face anything if we stay true to what matters." Milo nodded. I believe that too, and I will not falter. They passed a small group of young engineers, showing them how to repair engines and adjust circuits. Milo watched their eager faces, reminded of the first day Myra had come to his workshop. The lessons he had learned from her and the trust she had placed in him had changed him. He was stronger, wiser, and more confident. By evening, Milo returned to the workshop, exhausted but fulfilled. Lyra was asleep in a corner, and Mira hovered quietly above the workbench. Milo looked at the tools, the half-finished projects, and the small inventions scattered around. He realized that even the simplest things could have great meaning. Every repaired engine, every guided invention, every shared lesson mattered. Mira landed beside him. "Milo," she said softly, "you have shown that humans can achieve greatness, not by seeking it, but by living with courage, honesty, and heart. That is what makes you remarkable." Milo smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "I only did what I knew was right, but I am glad it can make a difference." The Dragon Queen's words echoed in his mind. Heart, courage, and honesty can change worlds. Milo had seen it firsthand. A human, a simple mechanic, had earned the respect of a queen, the trust of a princess, and the admiration of a city. He had faced challenges that once seemed impossible and proved that effort. Care and skill mattered more than rank or power. As night fell, Milo sat on the workshop balcony with Mira and Lyra. Stars glittered above, silent witnesses to their journey. Milo felt a quiet certainty in his heart. The future would hold challenges, yes, but he knew that together they could face anything. Heart, courage, and honesty would guide them. And even a simple human could make a difference in a galaxy of dragons and power. Myra smiled at him. "The galaxy is vast, Milo, but with trust and effort, we can shape it for the better." Milo nodded. "And we will. Together, we will show the world what courage, heart, and care can achieve." Lyra stirred, yawning and smiling sleepily. "Daddy, will tomorrow be another adventure?" Milo laughed softly. "Yes, little star. Every day can be an adventure when we face it with courage and heart." Mira hovered above, her eyes reflecting the stars. "And every day, we will grow stronger together."